Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for July 2022. So on Thursday, July 28th, just hours after our new moon in Leo, if you haven't checked that astro forecast out, please go ahead and do so. We have Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, and blessings, going retrograde, joining the other heavy-hitting planets in an inner journey of reflection. So Jupiter has been in Aries, and again, first time in 12 years that Jupiter has been in Aries. And in Aries energy, a fire energy, very connected to initiation, to brand new beginnings, to brand new chapters, especially where our ego and identity self is ruled. We've been making a little bit of progress in pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone in order to start something new. When we have a planet go retrograde, it takes the energy that we've been putting out into the external realm and we move inward to explore the internal realm. So this particular energy is going to take us on a little trip into the past. We have to retrace our steps through these Aries degrees and rethink our goals, our plans, and what it is that we tried to bring to life since May. Now, Jupiter tends to go a little bit low, a little bit slow, so we're going to have plenty of time to revisit, to revise, to rewrite some narratives. This is going to be a time of inner reflection, a time of questioning what we thought we already knew. Again, Jupiter is about beliefs, and we got a little bit of headstrong here in Aries, thinking that we knew all that there was to know about a certain topic and theme that we had obviously been stalled out in the past, but now felt the need, the desire to move forward, to charge forward in making some serious changes to align with our new knowledge and wisdom. This particular retrograde is going to give us a brand new perspective on some events that have been taking place since May. Okay, so Jupiter acts as a magnifying glass, and because we're going retrograde, we have to kind of zoom in on why things happened the way that they did. Did it help us grow? Did it improve the situation? Did it change our belief systems in ourselves, in the universe? Did it bless us with certain opportunities? We have to review. And B, this essentially is coming down to the reinvention and the rebranding process that we've all been going through. This has been an experimental phase. Many of us have been through many hardships since the Great Awakening started in 2019. We have had new information thrown at us. We have had sudden events and situations pop off that have totally altered the course of where it is that we thought we would be at this time. Many of us have lacked the confidence and lacked the value, the worth within ourselves that was needed in order for us to be pushed out of our comfort zone to actively pursue new chapters, new beginnings, new opportunities that, of course, are more heart and soul aligned than some of the directions that we were taking that were ego aligned. This retrograde is going to help walk us back to review and to see things from a different set of eyes. Now, one thing we have to be consciously aware of is we have to be aware of maybe where it is that we were too extra, too dramatic, where we were too focused on one area over the other, where we were too big, and this is possibility, too big in our dreams and our visions. Sometimes when we set ourselves up for big visions, big dreams, big plans, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment and failure right off the bat because we're unrealistic with what those dreams and those visions and those plans and those goals actually are. This is a time when we get to reflect over where it is that we may have bit off more than we could chew, where we overcommitted ourselves, where we, typically speaking, had too big of a head, too big of a vision, too big of a confidence, and where things didn't work out so well because of it. This is the time for us to slow it down, to get a little bit more fine-tuned with the process, with the procedure that we need to actually have in order to actually bring some of those big ideas, some of those big dreams into fruition. This is a key indicator where we may have been rushing things, where we maybe been pushing too hard for certain things to happen, and recognizing where things need to fall in place and happen a little bit more organically. And again, no surprise here, patience isn't a virtue that most of us were born with, that we definitely need in the here and now. This is when we're going to recognize our excitement, our passion, our enthusiasm for certain passion projects that we had. This is also going to illuminate where it is that we maybe fell off the wagon with caring about certain aspects. Maybe we're going to be reflected back to see where it is that we've been trying to make things happen and recognize that we don't even care about it anymore, that we're not excited, that we don't have the passion or desire to even see it come into fruition. This is going to be a huge reality check, as most retrogrades are. And because we need to have a reality check to get us in alignment for our most raw and vulnerable, highest self and potential, there is going to be some disappointments along the way. Now, I feel it necessary just to remind you, and we will cover it kind of as we go through the process and the months, but we will actually see Jupiter re-enter into Piscean energy. That was a huge thing for a lot of people. What we know to be true is that when Jupiter is in Pisces, there's a huge healing. There's a huge transformation. There's a huge focus on soul work, on spiritual work, where endings are needed, closures are needed before we can start again. Now, Jupiter, when he goes direct, and again, we enter into Pisces, October 28th. Then when we go direct, we will be moving out of those final degrees of Pisces again. So again, take yourself back to, I'm going to say March and April of 2022. Topics and themes of that particular time will be revisited. Then we get to re-enter into Aries energy, and we get to retrace our steps up until this 8th degree that we are going retrograde at. So this is a whole review, a whole reflection, a whole recalibration. This is a rewriting, a revision of our efforts, of our plans, of our dreams, of our beliefs, of our desires. Now, keep in mind, Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn, trying to push us into taking our power and control back, stepping into a new level of authority to boss up and actually be the starring role of our lives to make that transformation. We have Saturn, the Lord of Karma, retrograde as well, showing us where in the past we sacrificed our own wants, needs, and desires in order to do what is right by the group, by the collective, by the team, by the fam, and where that is done nothing for our own happiness, and all it's done is kind of built guilt, resentment, and a little bit of bitterness towards those that we love. We have Neptune retrograde as well, another heavy hitting planet. And Neptune going retrograde basically means that the universe slapped those rose-colored glasses off of our face, and we can't get off into la la land. We can't continuously be dreaming about the future until we deal with the matter of facts, the details that we need to clean up in the here and now before we can go off and start fantasizing and making changes to align to a new vision, to a new dream of the future. We have a mess to clean up here and now. And Jupiter now going retrograde is going to help us do that as well. And if you're wondering, yes, Uranus will be going retrograde in about a month's time. And that is definitely going to do an internal reevaluation of the changes that need to be made in our physical circumstances. So with all that being said, Jupiter going retrograde is going to feel very subtle to begin with, but I want you to pay attention, especially to the first week or two of Jupiter being retrograde, because those are likely the topics and themes that we will be dealing with for the whole retrograde situation. And I also just want you to understand that with Jupiter, he's a magnifier. he is a little bit extra. He turns the volume all the way up. And for the most part, things are going to feel a little bit bigger than they actually are. So we do have to deal with that intensity. We do have to deal with a little bit of drama there, but mostly we got to get to the nitty gritty of what it is that has happened to us, see it from a different set of eyes, see how it has changed the belief system within ourselves and within the universe. And of course, make the appropriate revisions to our plans, to our energy, to our efforts, so that when Jupiter goes direct, we have a plan, a detailed plan. Not an overachieving, overestimating, overly dramatic, overcompensating plan that we can't live up to. We will have a realistic plan that we're able to actually break off into smaller pieces, achieve and accomplish, and actually bring our dreams, our ideas, our vision, our goals to life.